Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. In this video, I want to talk about what is happening with persistence and when we can expect to see it implemented into the PU. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for all the support. If you do enjoy my content and would like to help from as little as $1 a month, the links are all in the description below. Also, make sure you hit subscribe and comment below with what you're excited for in 3.10, as the Doctor, one of my channel members, has kindly provided an RSI Mantis to give away. So persistence overall is a very large feature which is vital to getting started and working. It affects so much within the PU, and once implemented in its entirety will open the door to much more potential gameplay and features. However, persistence is not one single piece of tech, and it is split into a couple of stages for various reasons. Now today we will take a look at what of each of these stages are for and when we will likely see it come to the verse. So the areas of persistence are iCache and global persistence. We will touch upon physical inventories and other aspects which will be affected by these systems like salvaging, but firstly let's take a look at the iCache and briefly explain what it is. So the iCache is a database and querying system, and this system tracks every single entity on the server, be it a station, a ship, all the way down to a coffee cup. It'll allow the server to keep track of everything and then save the state of everything. An example that Chris Roberts often uses to explain what the iCache will allow is if you were to drop a coffee cup onto a planet and then fly away and return a few days later, that coffee cup will still be there provided no one has actually come along and picked it up, of course. Now, it isn't exactly known what the iCache will immediately allow once implemented, but it will affect features like physical inventories and even salvaging. The idea being that if a ship crashes onto a planet and the player who crashed chooses to respawn in a hospital and just decides to leave his ship wrecked on the planet, that ship will persist there for players to claim as salvage rather than the server coming and cleaning it up. Now, it was said that the long-term persistence took away resources from the iCache work, but they did feel it was a good idea for the quality of life improvements, and I do agree with this. Long-term persistence means that our UEC, our in-game credits, our ships that we've bought, the items that we've bought persist from patch to patch, rather than being wiped each time. One of the devs did say that they are hoping to get at least tier 1 of the iCache and global persistence in before the end of the year. Global persistence is the second part, and this is required to get the iCache and server working together. With the iCache being, as I say, the database and querying system, the game needs to be able to use that and enable the server shards to persist out and load back in the state of everything. This is what global persistence does. It ties these systems together and is what will get physical inventories working. Now, if you didn't know, physical inventories is a feature which will mean you will only be able to have on your person what you can physically or realistically carry. So no more magic mobiGlas bags of every weapon and armor that you've bought available to you wherever you go. You will need to ensure that you have the items you'll need for the job or do without. Now, both the iCache and global persistence are a prerequisite for physical inventories, and an example a developer used to explain the possibilities of these features is that it will allow you to place items or weapons into a backpack, then place that backpack, say at the top of a mountain on Microtech, and another player can come along later on and pick up that backpack with those items in. Now, I recently created a video about cargo decks and how you will be able to store vast amounts of cargo in one of these cargo decks, and then once sold, that cargo will need to be physically taken from the deck to the new owner's destination of choice. This system allows for everything in the world to be physicalized and tracked no matter how big or small, and it just opens the doors to so much gameplay. Another example of potential gameplay that Cloud Imperium will explore is permanent or long-term modifying of locations. So for example, a space station like Port Olisar could suffer an attack. An interesting choice of example, I know, this was their words, not mine, and the station would then be damaged for some time until repairs could take place. Also, full server recovery is going to be another major benefit, meaning after a server crash, so like a 30k, they'll be able to spin the game back up on a fresh server, but now remember the exact state of everything at the time of crash, including matchmaking to get players back into the shard they just lost connection to. This is obviously a massive win for multiple reasons. And they did actually begin to implement the iCache with 3.9, which is why we are experiencing a lot of persistence issues regarding our ships, our items, and our UEC balance. So it's definitely well underway. And if they are still on track to get global persistence and iCache tier 1 by the end of this year, it'll be a great starting point for next year to get more and more deeper gameplay and features in. From there, it'll be server meshing, and then that is the final pillar of the core tech Star Citizen needs to be a reality. Now, I do really hope that this all goes as smoothly as possible, and this dream can become that reality for us, but that is the current state of persistence, and the plans Cloud Imperium have in motion for this year. But with that said, if you enjoyed this video and found it informative and useful, be sure to subscribe and tick that notification bell so you know when my videos go live. Also hit that like button if you're excited to get full persistence, and come follow me over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers Ryan. We are welcoming old players and new players, so if you've got any questions, I am more than happy to answer them over there. Thank you again to my patrons and channel members for all your support. It is very much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.